Mix intense co-op action with friendly fire, and you get Helldivers 2, where checking your target is as important as hitting it. Helldivers 2's core design revolves around the psychological theory of social interdependence. Players must work together to succeed. The game mechanics encourage genuine teamwork through shared goals and mutual support, making cooperation essential rather than optional. In this video, we'll break down why this game has everyone talking and what other game developers can learn from its remarkable success. Let's talk about why Helldivers 2's co-op gameplay is absolutely brilliant. The game nails the fundamentals of team play in ways that most modern titles completely miss. When you drop into a mission with your squad, every role matters, from the support player calling in supplies to the heavy weapons specialist keeping those bug swarms at bay. What really sets this game apart is how it forces genuine cooperation. You can't just run off solo and be a hero. The game will humble you real quick. Whether you're coordinating orbital strikes or simply trying not to accidentally shoot your teammates, which is harder than it sounds, every mission feels like a carefully orchestrated dance of chaos. For developers looking to create compelling co-op experiences, here are the key takeaways. Design mechanics that require actual teamwork, not just parallel play. Create moments of both tension and triumph that are best experienced together. Make each player's role feel meaningful and impactful. Balance difficulty to encourage cooperation without feeling unfair. Let's dive into one of Helldivers 2's strongest features, its enemy variety. From the massive tank-like chargers to those sneaky stalkers that'll ruin your day, each enemy type brings something unique to the battlefield. The game doesn't just throw different skins on the same basic enemy. Each one requires you to adapt your strategy and loadout. What I particularly love is how these different enemies create dynamic combat scenarios. You might be dealing with a horde of standard bugs when suddenly a bile spewer shows up and forces your whole team to completely change tactics. It's like the game is constantly keeping you on your toes, but in a way that feels challenging rather than unfair. For game developers looking to nail enemy variety, here are the key lessons. Design enemies that force players to change their approach. Make each enemy type instantly recognizable. Balance the mix of different enemy types to create engaging encounters. Ensure each enemy serves a distinct purpose in combat. Now let's talk about the game's brilliant satire. The game takes military propaganda and fascist themes and turns them into pure comedy gold. Every mission briefing hits you with that over-the-top for democracy energy that would make Starship Troopers proud. The game knows exactly what it's doing. You're literally spreading managed democracy across the galaxy, while your character earnestly spouts lines about liberation that would make any propaganda minister blush. What makes this satire work so well is how it's woven into every aspect of the game. From the hilariously patriotic loading screens to the way your character automatically salutes when someone mentions Super Earth, it's consistent and never breaks character. The game doesn't wink at the camera or explain its jokes, it trusts you to get it. For developers looking to nail political satire in games, here are the key lessons. Commit to the bit. Don't undermine your satire by pointing out its satire. Integrate the commentary into gameplay mechanics, not just cutscenes. Keep the humor organic to the world you've built. Balance the message with genuine fun. Let's talk about Helldivers 2's combat. It's like getting punched in the face by fun. Every firefight feels weighty and impactful, from the satisfying kick of your weapons to the way enemies react when hit. The game nails that sweet spot between arcade-style action and tactical combat. What really stands out is how the combat creates these intense moments naturally. When a massive bug bursts through a wall while you're reloading, that panic you feel is real. For developers looking to create engaging combat systems, here are the key takeaways. Focus on feedback. Every shot, hit, and explosion should feel impactful. Balance precision with chaos. Let players feel skilled while keeping combat unpredictable. Make weapons feel distinct and meaningful. Design combat spaces that create natural tension and excitement. One of Helldivers 2's most controversial yet brilliant features, friendly fire. Unlike other games that coddle players with damage-free team shooting, this game says, hey, watch where you're pointing that thing, and it works beautifully. Nothing builds situational awareness quite like accidentally vaporizing your teammate with an orbital strike. The beauty of this system is how it naturally creates those tense moments where your whole squad is frantically trying to avoid crossfire while dealing with waves of enemies. It's not just about avoiding shooting each other, it's about positioning, communication, and coordination. Plus, there's something oddly satisfying about apologizing for that accidental team kill while everyone laughs it off. For developers looking to implement friendly fire effectively, here are the key lessons. Make it a core part of the gameplay experience, not just a tacked-on feature. Balance it so mistakes are meaningful but not run-ending. Use it to encourage better team coordination and communication. Keep the tone light enough that accidents become moments of fun rather than frustration. Let's dive into what makes Helldivers 2 such a visual feast. This game doesn't just look good, it's a masterclass in atmosphere. From the way your boots leave tracks in the snow to how explosions light up the environment, every detail pulls you deeper into its world. The lighting system deserves special attention. Whether you're watching tracer fire cut through the darkness, or seeing the sun cast long shadows across alien landscapes, it all feels incredibly natural. And those particle effects? When an orbital strike hits, you'll swear you can feel the heat through your screen. What really sells the immersion is how everything works together. The way your armor gets progressively more damaged and dirty during missions, the environmental storytelling in abandoned colonies, and those absolutely brutal bug explosions. It all builds a convincing world that feels alive and dangerous. For developers looking to create immersive visuals, here are the key takeaways. Focus on consistent visual quality across all elements. Use lighting and particles to enhance dramatic moments. Implement progressive damage systems that tell a story. Ensure environmental details support the game's atmosphere. Let's look at how Arrowhead handles community engagement. In an era where most developers hide behind carefully crafted PR statements, these folks are different. They're actually communicating. I know, shocking, right? What sets Helldivers 2's community engagement apart is how they've turned updates into events. Instead of just dropping patch notes, they're sneaking in new enemies and content, letting the community discover and freak out together. Remember when everyone lost their minds discovering those new robot variants? That's how you build excitement. The development team's active presence on social media and forums isn't just for show. They're actually listening and implementing changes based on player feedback. When the community pointed out issues with progression and rewards, they didn't just acknowledge it, they fixed it, fast. For developers taking notes, here's what makes this approach work. Transparency without overpromising. Quick responses to critical issues. Turning updates into community events. Actually implementing player feedback. You need to watch this video about the top 5 games you can never play again. And remember, seek to learn, not judge.